The Das and Don'ts newsletter proudly presents this story from issue number 3, published January 1st of 2024.
ShowBiz Pizza Place by Grizzly Adam. I grew up in seedy bars playing pool, darts, and video games while listening to live music. My dad was in a traveling band that took us all over the Midwest. I've often heard that bars are no place for kids, but I never fully understood that sentiment. My favorite place in the world when I was a kid certainly felt like it was a bar. It had the same type of games, live music, and served beer to the adults, but it was billed as the place where a kid can be a kid. These are my recollections of ShowBiz Pizza Place. The first time that I experienced ShowBiz Pizza, I was very young. I do not remember it clearly, but it was probably 1984. My parents and I were traveling and we had my cousin Susie with us. Which means it was likely that we were on our way back from one of the band's gigs. Susie's mother played lap steel and sang in the band, and her stepfather would soon join as the drummer. It was just my parents, my grandparents, Susie and me. My brother was probably riding with Susie's parents and brother. Susie and I were the same age, and so were our brothers. When we arrived at the restaurant, we were seated in a round booth and ordered a couple pizzas and some drinks. The waitstaff said that a show would be starting shortly. What kind of show? I wondered as I drank orange soda out of my plastic ShowBiz cup. Dad pointed towards the stage and explained that there was going to be something special when the curtains opened. I munched happily on my pizza as I imagined what could be behind that curtain. Nothing that I thought of could hold a candle to what I saw that day, the Rock-afire Explosion. When the curtains opened and the band began to play, I was enamored. A keyboard-playing gorilla named Fats was dripping with charm and charisma. There was a drumming dog named Duke that, with his shiny silver spacesuit, looked like he was from another planet. Beach Bear had a shiny silver guitar that I was convinced he got from Duke. The headstock was modeled after a Fender and reminded me of the guitar that Dad played. The dude couldn't be even bothered to stand up, that's how serious he took his commitment to beach. There was also a female rodent cheerleader named Mitzi. To me she seemed a little out of place with the rest of the band. Other strange wonders included a dancing bear cub named Choo Choo and a birthday spider named Antioch. Beside the main show stage, there were 2 additional stages. On one stage, a witty wolf named Rolf performed an insult comedy show. Rolf was accompanied by his comedy partner and ventriloquist puppet, Earl. Rolf tended to rub Fats the wrong way, with Fats often threatening physical violence. The other stage was decorated to look like a rundown petrol station and featured a hillbilly bear wearing red and yellow striped overalls named Billy Bob. He had a square, homemade-looking instrument with 4 strings, probably a banjo or bass guitar of some sort. The yellow birthday bird sat on the neck of Billy Bob's instrument. Stage right of Billy Bob sat a blue barrel of discarded oil where Looney Bird lived. He would serve as comic relief. The band performed a wide variety of songs, with each member taking the spotlight from time to time. Billy Bob even performed with the other musicians from time to time. Rolf broke up the show with his comedy stylings. All in all, it was a magical and memorable event that I still think about to this day. I don't know that I knew what animatronics were at the time, and spoiler alert, that is what the band was, some of the most sophisticated animatronics on the planet, designed by Creative Engineering, Incorporated, or CEI. For me, the arcade, tokens, tickets, and prizes never held a candle to the animatronics. I was lucky enough to visit ShowBiz 3 more times in my life. The next time was with my cousin Katie, from the other side of the family. That would be the last time that I saw the stage show. The final 2 visits were one after the other, for my 10th birthday party and then back to the other side of the family for another cousin's birthday party 6 months later. My final memories of ShowBiz Pizza Place revolve around the birthday cake. It was a chocolate sheet cake with ice cream between the layers and frosting on the outside. This was, hands down, the best cake that I ever had. A couple of years later, we moved from the area and I never made it back again before the doors were forever closed. Oh bother. A brief history of Pizza Time Theater, Chuck E. Cheese and ShowBiz Pizza Place. The year is 1978. Nolan Bushnell has just left Atari and purchased Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater, a combination restaurant and arcade, from Atari's parent company Warner Communications. The restaurant had been a pet project of Bushnell's at Atari, but the company as a whole had given up on it. Arcades as a standalone business were not common yet, and video games were often found in bars, bowling alleys, and some other less than kid-friendly spaces. It was Bushnell's mission to bring arcades to the youth. In the process, he added animatronic performers in the vein of Disney's Country Bear Jamboree. Bushnell soon found himself working with hotel mogul Robert Brock. Brock, however, would soon meet Aaron Fechter of Creative Engineering Incorporated, CEI, recognized the superiority of CEI's animatronics, and would form ShowBiz Pizza Place with them in 1979. Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater would file for bankruptcy and be acquired by ShowBiz in 1984. Although under the same umbrella, the two restaurants would function independently for the next 5 years. The company, now called ShowBiz Pizza Time, would begin trading shares on the stock market in 1989. At the same time, the company began their infamous concept unification, merging the two restaurants into one. Controversially, they decided to go with the less popular Chuck E. Cheese characters to avoid paying royalties to CEI and Aaron Fechter. According to Fechter, the company attempted to acquire the rights for CEI's animatronics and stage shows with nothing in exchange. This claim seems fishy, and Fechter's apparent bitterness makes one question his account of the story. The final ShowBiz Pizza Place locations were converted to Chuck E. Cheese in 1994. It was announced in 2017 that all remaining animatronics would be removed and replaced with DVD multimedia shows. In 2023, the company opted to continue using animatronics in its Northridge, California location, making it the only Chuck E. Cheese restaurant that will be retaining its animatronic stage.
About Grizzly Adam. Grizz is one of those eccentrics that you read about. The type that people say marches to the beat of their own drum. His hobbies include writing, computers, electronics, telephone systems, pyromania, and lawn care. Grizz's website can be found at grizz.atwebpages.com.
The Das and Don'ts team consists of Grizzly Adam, editor, publisher, writer; Jon Mullin, assistant editor, writer; Plendlful, consulting editor; Joe Collett, associate publisher, writer; BlueMSX, writer; Yousef, writer. Visit our website at dasanddontstopmywebcommunity.org. And don't forget to write to us, submit your retro memory, or most importantly, sign up for the newsletter. The Das and Don'ts Retro newsletter is published the first of each month. Subscribers get early access.